All right, what's Pappy up to? Well, it's not what I'm up to. It's what Dan up at AM/PM Car Restorations in Canada, now that he's got the Griffith. Here we go. Oh yeah, now it's time to get to it. Bring her back to life. Here she is up at the restoration shop, AM/PM, up in Canada there with Dan, and getting into it, taking the tranny and engine out for starters. We knew this engine had not been run for several years, like 10 years. We took a bore scope on it, didn't look too bad. We knew it'd be work to do. Here's the fiberglass has been cut out, so you get a good look at this frame, which we knew was an issue, and it's normally wrapped around the frame, and that's part of it. There you get this kind of corrosion, which we knew. And so the close-up of it, really you can see what happens. So the design of wrapping around is not good. You'll see in the end they do change that. Here was a surprise. The water pump and was all jammed up with junk, so that had to be looked at. The races and the journals didn't look too bad. The valley was a little scroty junk in it, but in the end the engine had to go in for a rebuild and shop. One other surprise was the gas tank we had with it wasn't going to work in this car. Also, there's some axles. I know they look like valves, but they're actually axles. And the bearings surfaces were bad. Here's before disassembly. And when you get this one off, you see the scoring on the axles. So some suspension work definitely coming. So there's a few surprises, including some of the parts were welded incorrectly. But we're in good shape. But anyways, there is the new beginning. Get it on to the jig and start building a frame. Like I said, they're experts, Dan and the AM/PM restoration guys up there in Canada. They've built a lot of these just for these kind of cars. And when she comes off, she looks like this, all painted. And you can see the flat rails, and those are where the seats are going to bolt. Also, this design is so the body will bolt to it rather than be fiberglass wrapped around it and end up having that same problem with the corrosion. Yeah, so here's the rear suspension in and rear axle, and there's some upgrades there. Put a limited slip 3.5 gears in there, and the Jaguar rear end, also some upgraded half shafts. There it is with the roll bar, the original roll bar cleaned up and installed. And so with the engine compartment, once you get the engine out, there's been a lot of mods over the years, so wanted to make corrections to that. Get all the accessories and wiring out of there first of all, and then there's a lot of holes that weren't correct or in the right place, so some repairs and patching to that to get this to look close to original as possible. There's some mods that are going to still be there that are upgrades really, and once you get that all in, you get it all cleaned up and put a nice coat of primer. It's definitely coming to life. And get some final coat of primer also on the body to get ready for the next steps of putting some real paint down and a few more mods and get her all wrapped up. On the next video, you'll see it come together.